Hey there guys, welcome back to another episode on the mono-type poison runs on the RetroBrown channel. So today, it is the poison type mono run, and this is going to be quite a fun one because there's quite a lot of poison types you can get in Kanto. It's one of the most plentiful types that we do have, so to be fair, we're going to have a very good run. We're going to have a lot of variation that we can work with here. So let's pick up our potion, change our text speed, our battle animation and set mode, and we will go off to get our first Pokemon. Now we don't even need to change the starters today because Bulbasaur is a grass poison type, meaning we can use him as our very first starter Pokemon. It also gives us a great Pokemon to use when we go against Brock, because as soon as we've got Vine Whip, it's a monster against him. And it means we'll rely heavily on Bulbasaur when we go into Misty as well. Our Bulbasaur for today is going to be Jacob Moslin. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. I think you've already subscribed a while ago, but again, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. So the very first rival fight is not going to be much of a problem whatsoever. He does growl us into the ground, but to be fair, we're not really going to worry about that too much. We get the win, and then we move off to Iridian City where we can go and try and catch our very first Pokemon. So, we're going to pick up 10 Pokeballs. We'll get 10 Pokeballs because there are at least 2 Pokemon over to the west of Iridian that we can pick up. The first is going to be, well, it's not going to be a Rattata because that is a normal type Pokemon. First is going to be Nidoran Female. Now, yes, we are actually going to get a Nidoqueen before we even get to Misty, which is absolutely fantastic. So once we catch up our Nidoran, we will give it the nickname of Nato. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. Really appreciate it. And in this same patch of grass, we can also pick up our Nidoran Male. When we can actually find it, of course. There he is. Let's tackle it into the ground. And we already have 3 team members to work with before we even get to Brock. Which doesn't really happen all too often. But we're still not done before we even get to Brock because there's going to be one more Pokemon we can go and get. Our Nidoran Male is going to be Weaver, Zachary Weaver. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. So in the Viridian Forest, we can pick up the bug poison type Pokemon, Weedle. Which is perfect because look at that team. We've got 4 Pokemon before we even get to Brock, which is absolutely insane. We're going to call our Weedle Pockpicket. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel. And before we even get to Brock, we've got a little bit of training to do because, as we know, Weedle can evolve very, very quickly. So at level 7 it will evolve into Kakuna, and then we're going to straight away evolve it into level 10 at Beedrill. So while we've got a team of 4, we might as well go against the rival just to see how we do at the west of Iridian. We can also get a bit of experience here, so it's also worth it. We've got Leech Seed on Bulbasaur now. And you know what, I don't even think we're going to need to be at the level cap to beat Brock here. We're all around about level 10, and as long as we don't get sand attacked too much by the Pidgey, we should be more than fine. I hope you guys are enjoying the month of RetroBrown so far this year. It has been a bit of touch and go as to whether I would actually have everything ready to actually do it, but yeah, I'm quite happy that I did manage to do it. I've just started a new job, so I have to travel about 2.5 hours a day. And after a full work day, it is very difficult to then come home and then do some more editing or record some audio. So yeah, it's been a bit of a struggle, but I'm still quite glad that I've managed to get this fully done. We beat the rival, and we can move on to Brock. Now, Brock is going to be very easy in all honesty. It's just going to be a bit of a slog like most of the battles are with him, is when he's got Pokemon with very, very high defense and you only have normal type moves towards the start of the game. Yeah, we're really going to have to rely heavily on Bulbasaur to get through. Weaver has got Horn Attack, which is a great move for this point in the game as well, which makes it far better than Nidoran Female in the early game. When the Sandshrew comes out, we switch back into Moslin, get a Leech Seed up, and the battle is pretty much ours. He can scratch us, he can Sand Attack us all he wants. Leech Life is just gonna, well, not Leech Life, Leech Seed is just gonna help us get through this fight. So level 12, we're gonna go into the Brock fight. So he's gonna always start off with his Geodude, and of course we're gonna start off with Leech Seed. He's just going to whittle away at his HP. We'll use Growl to get his attack all the way down. And once we've set up on Growl, we can then switch into a different Pokemon if we want to. I mean, it would be worth getting some experience on one of the other Pokemon. So we're going to use Scratch from Nato, the Nidoran female. And just as Leech Life is doing its thing, he's just going to keep using Defense Curl of all things. So yeah, we get a very easy win against the Geodude. And now that the Onix is out, we're going to switch back. Should we switch into Moslin? Yeah, we'll switch back to Moslin. We'll just get the Leech Seed up, because we know that it's just going to go our way. We'll set up the Growl so he does barely any damage on us. And doing that, we're going to bypass all the bites, because we're not hitting him directly right now. Once we've set up all of our Growls, we'll switch into Weaver. And then we're going to go for the Leers so that his defense gets completely tanked. Meaning, by the time all Leers have been set up, one Horn attack should be more than enough to take him down. Now you might see something a little bit different on this video compared to the other monotypes that you've seen so far. Normally on the right hand side, we have our 6 team members. Well, I've added 4 more boxes underneath because, considering there are so many poison type Pokemon in this game, I'm going to try and catch a few more just to give ourselves a bit more of a team variation. So, moving into Mount Moon, now we have the Boulder Badge. We are going to pick up our 5th team member in Zubat. We're not even at the 2nd gym and we have nearly a full team of 6 of poison type Pokemon. This is why I liked this run so much. We got so much variation very early on. So let's name our Zubat. Our Zubat is going to be called Miranda. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel, Jason Miranda. Let's see what else we get. We also get Moonstones in Mount Moon. There's one just there, and there's also one right next to the Super Nerd, but I thought it was right past the Super Nerd. It's actually just back a few spaces and then to the right in that little gap. That also means once we've got our Nidorans both up to level 16, we can evolve them straight into their final forms. And that gives us 2 extremely powerful Pokemon going into the 2nd gym. Yes, we've given them the ground type, they will also be weak to water type moves, but they're still really strong. Like, Nidoran is supposed to be, well, Nidoking is supposed to be one of the solo running kings, the speed running kings of Gen 1, so why wouldn't we want a Nidoking? And pretty much I think they always evolve him pretty much at Cerulean anyway, because I think you get Thrash upon evolution. So let's evolve a few of our Pokemon. Ivysaur's, well, we've got Bulbasaur into Ivysaur, Nidoran into Nidorina, and Nidoran male into Nidorino. We'll then use our Moonstones to get our Nidoqueen and Nidoking, and now look at that team. 2nd gym leader, and that is the team we have, which is absolutely stacked. Great team. Great type in Gen 1, just for the variation of Pokemon that you get. Let's give Misty a try. We have Vine Whip on our Ivysaur, so that should be a very easy fight. We're going to set up the Leech Seeds just in case, and then we're going to use Vine Whip just to get through this fight as quick as we can, because normally Misty is a very hard fight. Well, not very hard, but tedious, I would say more. That Starmie is very powerful, and one good thing about using Ivysaur, she's not going to use a water type move, but I do want to spread some XP around. So I tried to get someone to Pockpick it. We've got Fury Attack, which is a terrible move, but is honestly our best move right now. And we also have Leech Life on Miranda, which annoyingly does not outspeed and gets taken down. We have Mega Punch on Nidoking, but unfortunately that goes down as well. And this is what I mean by the Starmie is an absolute beast. This is not looking good. She's taken out most of our Pokemon. And yeah, I really should have just stayed in with the Ivysaur instead of trying to get some more XP. But Moslin pulls through, because it is just a reliable boy, and here we are. Let's go against the 2nd rival. So, he always starts off with his Pidgeotto, and ideally what we want to do is always set up Leech Seed first. It gives us an edge in every single battle you can imagine, unless you're going against another grass type. I'm pretty sure it doesn't affect many other grass types, but yeah. And then once we switch into Nidoking, Mega Punch that we picked up in Mount Moon is just going to power through his entire team. I did misclick on Leah there because I wanted to do tackle. And going into the Charmander, it's level 17 versus level 17, but we are a more powerful level 17. We get the win first time, and we can move on to the next part. Up in the grass just at the north of Nugget Bridge, we can get our 5th Pokemon, which is Bellsprout, another grass-type poison Pokemon. And we're going to call this one... Matthew Adams. Yeah, Matthew Adams, thank you, welcome to the channel, and I appreciate you being here. It's very weird that in Gen 1, the only non-grass Pokemon is Execute and Tangela. I'm pretty sure that's it. Because the Execute line is Grass Psychic, and Tangela is just pure Grass-type Pokemon. Every other Grass-type Pokemon is pretty much a Grass Poison. So we can pick up a lot of Grass types in this run. Not that I want to very much. We've picked up a Bellsprout. We're in Pokémon Blue, so we can't pick up Oddish. But what we can do is go against the Rocket and pick up the TM for Dig, because we've got 2 Poison Ground Pokemon, meaning we've got a very good move for one of them. Now I am going to focus Nidoking being a more physical attacker and Nidoqueen being a special attacker. Oh god. Beedrill is not doing very well in the early game. We did see this on the bug type video, but the reason why I wanted a Beedrill in this team, because at the end game, as soon as you've got Sword Stance and Hyper Beam, it is an absolute beast. And I'm hoping that we're going to see that again in this run. Moving on to the SSM, we want to go and pick up Body Slam because it'll be a great move for Nidoking. We've picked up Seismic Toss, which will be useful later on. I don't know how long I'll keep it in the video, but we'll soon find out. So let's go against the rival on the SSN. We're going to start off with Matt Adams, give him a bit of the spotlight. We're going to set up the cheesy strats of Sleep Powder and Wrap, which is so cheesy, but I like it. When you're using it, it's funny. When it's again used on you, it's freaking annoying. When we finally hit it again with Wrap, Matt Adams takes down a Pidgeotto. We get the Raticate to sleep, and it's a good time to switch out and get some XP on our other Pokemon. Pockpicket has learned Twin Needle, which is a great move. It's the best bug type move in Gen 1, and it's exclusive to this line. It does go down to the Kadabra because it is weak to it, and this Kadabra is going to be a big problem moving forward in this entire run. The Psychic type is extremely strong in Gen 1, and we've got a full team Poison types which are not very good against it. So yeah, we're starting to get a bit more type variation out now. We've got Poison Powder on Morsland, and we're going to switch through of our Pokemon because we want to get up some levels. We want to start evolving the rest of our Pokemon. We can use Supersonic on the Charmeleon, even though it's only got 55% accuracy. It's a terrible move, but eventually we are going to get Confuse Ray very soon, which is 100% accurate and a great move to have. So let's have a go against Surge. Now, considering we have 2 ground-type Pokemon, we should do pretty well. But I'm going to start off with Pockpicket because I really like Beedrill. It's actually grown to be one of my favourite Gen 1 Pokemon. I might actually start doing that in the new year, or when I've actually finished the first 151 Pokemon. I might actually start doing top 10s of like favourite Pokemon, best Pokemon of that type. Just in like solo run contexts. Because, God, there's thousands of top 10s of, oh, this is my favourite Pokemon, this is like the best 10 grass types in the entire game. There's loads of them videos out there, and a lot of people will do them much better. I am much more informed on being a solo runner. So, yeah, I might focus doing that on solo runs. You might see there we also got Golbat. Well, we evolved our Zubat and our Bellsprout into Golbat and Weeping Bell, and we moved through Rock Tunnel without much problem whatsoever. Nato has got Thunderbolt, Bubble Beam, and Body Slam. This is a stacked moveset, and yeah, we really could just do this full game with just Nidoking and Nidoqueen, but I really want the full team of 6. I'm really enjoying these Monotype runs. When you do a lot of solo runs and then do something different like a Monotype run, it's actually a really big breath of fresh air. And the Gyarados comes out, and this is where we start seeing some problems with our team. So considering we've got Poison types, the Kadabra, later Alakazam is going to be a massive problem. The Gyarados is going to be a massive problem for our Poison ground types. None of our grass poison types can do super effective damage against Gyarados. So we're in a bit of an impasse there. We need to either find some more electric type moves, or we just got to make our Nidoqueen as tanky as possible. I'm probably going to opt for the latter though, so let's go give her Ice Beam. And we also are going to pick up Rock Slide, TM48, so we can give some more physical attacking moves out. And we're also going to pick up Tri-Attack just because it's a decent move. And then we'll use our Leaf Storm picked up in Celadon to get ourselves a Victory Bell. Look at how stacked this team is. And we are not even at the 4th badge. We are going to beat the Beauty first before going against Erika. And this is another reason why I like Beedrill, because it just sweeps this gym so well. Twin Needle is a great move, and in Gen 1, Poison types and Bug types are super effective against each other. Meaning, Bug is quad effective against her entire, well, the majority of her gym. Yeah, and everyone says Bug type's the worst. Nah. When you got a Beedrill with the right moves, it is absolutely great. And I love that it got Mega in later generations. We take the win against Erika, moving ourselves on to the Rocket Corner. And I have spent some time in the on the slots, because I wanted to get Hyper Beam on the Beedrill. I'm so determined to use this Pokemon for this entire run. And yeah, let's see how we do. Once we get Sword Stance, that Beedrill is just going to be amazing. So we're going to start off against the Onix by putting it to sleep and setting up Growths, because I'm planning on sweeping with Matt Adams here. Once we've set up our full 6 Growths, we will just Vine Whip our way through this entire fight. There goes all 3 of his Pokemon down. Oh, and we get a critical hit, which means that we only did half damage. Yeah, Gen 1 badge boosting glitch didn't help us out there. Let's open up Saffron City, because we might as well see if there's any Pokemon that can really learn Psychic, and if not, we can sell the TM, get some more money. But of course, we need to head ourselves all the way back to Lavender Tower, and we need to flush out the rockets before saving Mr. Fuji. But while we're here, we're going to pick up our 7th Pokemon, which is going to be Ghastly. And yeah, I always forget that Ghastly is a poison type, it's a ghost poison type, so we might as well use it. And I'm going to give this honour to one of my subscribers, Cyndaquil. Another guy who does a lot of Pokemon content. If you get a chance to check out his channel, please do. I've enjoyed quite a lot of Cyndaquil's videos. Thank you for subscribing, have a great day matey, and let's see how you do as a Ghastly. So, we're going to put Ghastly on our team over Golbat, and pretty quickly, with the level cap, we can evolve it into a Haunter. So we have 7 Pokemon to deal with here, and to be fair, I actually don't think I need Golbat anymore. We've got stronger Pokemon that can use Mega Drain, and after that, Golbat kind of loses its use. Like, it can learn Wing Attack, it can learn Confuse Ray. I'd probably only keep it for Confuse Ray. We might use it in later fights, but for now, with Pokemon Tower, the moveset that Haunter gets is just far superior, and plus, it can learn Psychic, which gives us a great move to work with. Now we are going to go and pick up another Pokemon, and you might be wondering which one. Well, there is one that we need to fish up, and that is Tentacool, the water poison type Pokemon. I've only done a Tentacool solo run on my channel before, and it did do decently. I'm still waiting for Tentacruel to come up on the wheel, but yeah, this is my first chance ever using Tentacool. So we're going to go with the name for this subscriber. It's going to be Sesotti. Tiago Sesotti, thank you for subscribing and welcome to the channel, mate. We're going to immediately evolve it because we are within the level cap, and we are going to get ourselves a Tentacruel immediately. For now, I'm going to bench Muslin the Ivysaur, just because we don't really need 2 grass-type Pokemon. But, of course, I might sub him back in later, because Victory Bell, it does hit hard, it does have Sleep Powder, but Ivysaur is bulky. Like, Venusaur is a very bulky Pokemon, it can tank hits. Anyway, enough talking, let's see how we do against the 5th Gym Badge, Koga. Now, Pockpicket is just sweeping through half his team so far. We don't have Sword Stance yet because we haven't beaten Silphco. But at level 33 we managed to get all the way to the Weezing. And he used the self-destruct. So hindsight, a level 33 Beedrill just swept Koga. You can't write this stuff, you just gotta see it. Talking about Sword Dance, so we do pick it up in Silphcoat, and we're going to move over there to beat the rival next. We're going to start off with Nato, and we are still around the level 33 mark. So Nato, the Needle Queen, just going to Ice Beam through the first couple of Pokemon, and when the Gyarados comes out, we outspeed, so we get the Thunderbolt in, which is perfect. Now if we can hit the Body Slam, get the Paralysis, which we do, Nato is tearing through here, and the Charizard goes for Rage, which means pretty much we've won this. We switch into Sasotti, and we surf for the win. So I'm very pleased with that result. First time win. We don't have to worry too much. So let's see how we do against Giovanni number 2. First up is the Nidorino, and Sasotti just goes on a rampage, a surfing kamikaze rampage all the way through his team. It's just a whitewash. Like, no one told me that Tentacruel was this good. Just really, really good. Now you might be wondering, we do have a Haunter, but we don't have a way to trade within this game. I don't have somebody I can trade with on this emulator. So unfortunately we are going to be just stuck with a Haunter for Cyndaquil. But it doesn't matter, because Haunter, as we found out in the Solar Run video that I did, is an absolute tank. Even when we did the Ghost Mono Run, it was crazy good. Ghastly on its own was crazy good. And it really helps out in this fight here. So, once we can get the Mr. Mime to sleep, we're going to switch into Matt Adams and go for the growth strats. If we can keep them asleep, we can keep our HP up, Sleep Powder, and Vine Whip for the win. It's going to do tons of damage, but because it's not super effective, it won't take them out in one. I'm going to put the Venom off to sleep, and because of the Badge Boost glitch, Psybeams and Psychics will not do very much damage to us now, even though it's super effective. Vine Whip is not very strong against this, even with all of those Badge Boosts, so we just got to chip it down as much as we can. And last up is the Alakazam. If we get this to sleep, we need to switch. So we're going to switch straight into Cyndaquil, and from here we're going to get the Confuse Ray up and Nightshade it down for when it wakes up. Hopefully we do get the Hypnosis hits. It doesn't hit, but it hits itself in Confusion, meaning one more Nightshade tick gives us the win. And the level cap now goes up to level 47, which is where we're going to head off to next, and that is Blaine. We're not too far off how we're going to do this, but there are more Pokemon we can go and pick up. Not you, Tentacle. We don't need to pick up another one of you. We've got Sasotti. We don't need another Tentacle. So, in the Burnt Mansion, there are 2 more Pokemon that we want to go and pick up. The first is going to be Grimer. Now, Grimer and Koffing are both bulky Pokemon. Yes, they don't do well against Psychic types, but they've got very good stats, really. They're not very fast, but we do want them on our team. So we are going to bench our Nidoking for a little while, just while we train up these Pokemon up. And Grimer is going to be called Everybody Matters, which is one of my new subscribers. Thank you for subscribing, I really appreciate it. Sorry I can't fit in the full name, so it's going to be Every Matter, but it is Everybody Matters, and I share that sentiment very, very closely to my heart. We use our Master Ball on Koffing, and we get our final team member. Now you might be wondering, there is one other Poison-type Pokemon that you could have picked up on this run, and that is going to be Venonat. I don't like Venonat. I don't like Venomoth. I'm not picking it up. We've got enough Pokemon as it is right now. So we're going to go into the Blaine fight with this team. We've got Tentacruel, which we did have a Koffing, we've now evolved it into Weezing. But Grimer is still got a little while to go before it evolves. So we're going to start off with Grimer and see how it does just against Blaine on its own. Because the Growlithe has a Psychic type move, that is all that he's going to use on us. So we're going to set up all of our minimizers and be the cheesiest person that ever goes against Blaine. You might hate this strategy, I hate it personally, but this is my run, not yours. Cheesy run or not, it's a valid tactic. It wouldn't be in the game if it wasn't. It's just kind of frowned upon. So the Rapidash comes out, we're going to poison it, we're going to start pounding it into the ground, because we don't have better moves than Pound right now as a physical attacking move. The good thing we do have Poison Gas, even though it is a terrible move. I'm pretty sure it's like Supersonic where it only has like 55% accuracy. But in this fight it just seems to hit every single time. We then switch into Trinket Mage, who is our Weezing. Thank you for subscribing. But unfortunately you've gone down to a Fire Blast, meaning we have to switch back into Every Matters, who again goes down to another, well, takedown there. We switch into Sasori for the reliable win, and there we go, 7 gym badges with a Poison type team. Everybody Matters evolves into a Muck, and while we're here we're going to evolve Moseland into the Venusaur that it deserves to be. So let's go for the final gym fight. Let's see how we do. So first up is going to be Trinket Mage, and because it didn't get much chance to shine in the previous fight, we're going to use it here. We're going to get that Rhyhorn poisoned, we're going to Fire Blast it when we can, but Sludge is actually, it's the best poison type move in the game, like for physical attacking prowess. Toxic is easily a better move because it badly poisons instead of just normally poisoning them, and this is where I realise we've got an issue. That Doug Trio is very powerful, it is very fast, so we need a tanky boy to be able to take this on. This is where Moseland comes back into it. We use a substitute for when the dig happens, but we don't need it, we just Razor Leaf our way through. The Nidoqueen is out now, and we are going to get some HP back with Leech Seed. He's not going to do very much against a substitute, so when it comes into the Nidoking, we still have our substitute up. We can Razor Leaf and do big damage, and nothing they do is taking down this substitute. We Razor Leaf for the win, and this is why we wanted Venusaur over Victory Bell. Out of the two, I like the Bellsprout line, but you can't. A starter Pokemon is just naturally going to be better than the likes of Victory Bell. We get our 8th gym badge, and we're going to move on to the Pokemon League. The level cap is now going up to Lorelei's level 56 Lapras, but we've got one more challenge before we even go to the Pokemon League. We need to beat the rival again. So we're going to start off with Trinket Mage, and we're going to get our smoke screens up. Me and the Pidgeot will barely do anything. That means we can switch into Pockpicket, set up our Swords Dances, and this is the strategy that I loved. Because in Gen 1, if you get a one-hit KO with Hyper Beam, you don't have to do the recharge turn. I know it's cheesy, but I like it. Swords Dance Hyper Beam is a great combination, but unfortunately it is stopped by the Alakazam because we get outspeeded. And I'm worried now because, yeah, we have a very good team, but we need some bulk. So I get a substitute up, I get the Leech Seed up, and the substitute breaks, but that's everything we needed. Moseland's done its job, it gets his Razor Leaf in before going down, and now we just gotta hope that we can get through these Pokemon. If we can Hypnosis, we can. Cyndaquil goes down. Can we get a Fire Blast off? No, he's just going to Psychic all of our Pokemon. This is not looking good, but Nato gets a few Body Slams in, gets the Paralysis, and gets through the annoying Alakazam. Thank you, Nato, you absolute queen. I don't actually know if you're male or female or whatever in real life, but you're a Nidoqueen in this, so thank you, queen. We get through to the Pokemon League, and we are not too far away from completing this challenge. First off, we need to figure out which Pokemon we want to take into the Pokemon League. Now, some Pokemon have had more spotlight than the others, but I feel like we need a bit more balance in this. So, we'll go with Trinket, we'll go with these 6 Pokemon you see above, and we will leave Moseland back behind. It's done its job, but I feel like with this team combination, we're going to leave Muck behind as well. This team combination will should get us through at quite a low level, level 45. So we've brought Cyndaquil, Pockpicket, Weaver, Nato, Sekotti, and of course Trinket Mage. We've got a good variation of moves, and when we finally set up, we've got Pockpicket to full attack on Swords Dance, Hyper Beam our way through. Annoyingly, Clamp hits. So we do lose quite a lot of HP. We can Twin Needle the Slowbro because it's weak to our bug type moves, same with the Jinx. And then last up is the Lapras, who goes down to a Hyper Beam. This is why I like the Hyper Beam Beedrill Pokemon. Let's see how we do against Bruno. And strangely, well, I'm not going to say strangely, it's Bruno. We've got Cyndaquil, who has Psychic and Dream Eater. This should be an easy whitewash for us. We're just going to Psychic our way through, and this is the reason why I wanted the Ghost Poison type Haunter. Because just from the fact it gets Psychic type moves, it means that we've got an extremely easy fight in Bruno. Bruno is down, and we are going to move on to Agatha, which again, Cyndaquil is going to be one of the best Pokemon for. We also do have the Poison Ground types for when it comes to like her own Gengar, and her own Poison type Pokemon, because she is predominantly not a Ghost type trainer, she is a Poison type trainer. There are more Poison type Pokemon on her team than there are Ghosts, so fight me, she's a Poison type trainer. Either way, Weaver, who has Earthquake, is just sweeping through the entire team. Don't even take 1 point of damage. This is the power of Poison type Pokemon, and I can see why Team Rocket use them. But I am the more superior Team Rocket because I actually use them properly. Let's go into Lance. Now I'm hoping, wow, Nato actually outspeeds level 58 Gyarados, 13 levels above it. And this should be an easy fight until we get to the Aerodactyl. Because majority of his Pokemon have got Psychic type moves, meaning pretty much they're just going to use them Psychic type moves and they don't do any damage. Nato gets a full sweep, and we have got probably the easiest Elite Four that we've done so far in these Monotype runs. And we're right through to the champion. Can we get a first time full sweep of the Elite Four? So starting off is Trinket against the Pidgeot, and we do not outspeed, but we don't need to. It's going to go for Sky Attacks. We are going to set up our smoke screens, and the accuracy on that Pidgeot, it's revenge for all the times it's used Sand Attack on me. We're going to switch now, and we're going to try and get a bit set up. We're going to set up the Hypnosis, use Nightshade as well. That was a misclick, I'll be completely honest. It's not doing all too much damage, it's going to be about 4 or 5 hits before we do. So while it's asleep, we're going to set up the Swords Dancers, and hopefully Sky Attack won't hit. We have set him up, and Hyper Beam gets a critical, which means that all of those Swords Dancers meant nothing. But hopefully we don't outspeed the Alakazam. That's a problem. I don't think I've got a Pokemon that can outspeed that Alakazam. I really don't. We're gonna have to go for the Hail Mary, but we can't because we can't outspeed. Oh no, this is bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. Okay, we do get the paralysis. That is clutch. We should outspeed it with the next Pokemon, but with 3 Pokemon against his 4, I'm not too sure now. Rhydon is next, and Earthquake. It's going to take 3 Earthquakes to take him down. But Weaver does get through because that Rhydon is just awful. We do outspeed the Executor, which means we could one-shot it with Horn Drill if we can wake up quick enough, which I don't think is going to happen. No, Weaver goes down, and we are down to Sakoti. And we do have Blizzard on Sakoti now, and we get the Clutch Freeze, meaning we can set up our barriers. And this is a great position to be, because the whole entire reason I wanted a Tentacle for this run is because we started with a Bulbasaur. So we need to keep Sakoti alive. We need to keep our defense up, and we need to make sure we don't take much HP. So 2 more Surfs will take down the Gyarados, and that should just leave the final Charizard. We're going to Toxic it, and he puts himself into rage. He knows this fight is over. Sakoti gets us the win, and that is the full Elite Four swept first time without a loss. Poison types are good. Yeah, there is a lot of poison types out there. They have shown how good they are today. I'm very happy with this. Trinket Mage, our level 45 Weezing. Nato, the level 46 Nidoqueen. Pockpicket, the level 46 Beedrill. Sakoti, the level 46 Tentacruel. Weaver, the 47 Nidoking. And Cyndaquil, the level 46 Haunter. This took us just under 9 hours to do, but we've also got to give a big shout out to the guys on the bench. The Golbat, the Muck, the Venusaur, the Victory Bell. They all came clutch at different points throughout this entire video. So let's see which Pokemon which team we're going to go with for tomorrow. We've only got a few types left, and we are going to do a mono-type run with just fighting-type Pokemon. Okay, that's going to be difficult because fighting types in Gen 1 are not very good. If you got to this point in the video, guys, please shank that like and subscribe, you're legends, and I will see you tomorrow for another mono-type run. Take care.